Well, hello, everybody. We are here in WildCare's Birdroom, and I hope you can hear me because, as you can tell, it is a noisy, busy place right now. We have Lily, who is one of our wildlife technicians. And what are you doing for us first, Lily? Actually, Melanie is going to talk while Lily feeds. Let's have Melanie explain what you're going to do. All right. Go ahead, sure.
So Lily's going to feed our littlest patient right now that we have is a hatchling house sparrow. This is our tiniest baby.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. And this guy was found on the ground at a shopping center, so apparently he fell out of the nest, and there was no way to get him back up into it, unfortunately. So he is with us, and we are sure that we will get some more house sparrows eventually that he can go with, but for now, he's our littlest one. He's on an every 20-minute timer right now, as tiny as he is.
Wow, that is the smallest little animal. He probably has to go back in his incubator because he doesn't yet have feathers. Yep.
Yes, and all of these lovely incubators, many of them are new thanks to all of you who sent donations during our COVID fundraiser.
Yes, thank you
making
so
those
much.
Possible. You can go ahead and start on those guys.
Here we have Melanie, who of course is our director of animal care, and she's going to be taking us on a little tour of the bird room.
So this is the brainchild behiing the room in here. So you may wonder how we keep track of all of the birds that we have to feed, and this is it. So this is our 30-minute timer. Who is in charge of feeding those babies? And each one that's listed here is a cage of birds. So C1 has 1 house finch, C2 has 3, incubator 4 has 1 California scrub jay. So basically the timer goes off and Lily's in charge of feeding all of those birds. Hopefully if she's fast enough, she'll get it done before the timer goes off again.
That is hard with the 30-minute timers, I'm
so
sure.
We have our 45-minute timer, 60-minute, and 2-hour. So our goal with all of our patients is to move them through the system as fast as possible. So our little house sparrow that you saw there in the incubator, our little nudie guy, once he gets feathers and he's big enough and no longer needs the incubator, he will graduate to these guys, what these guys are in over here.
Hopefully I'm not going to get everybody queasy as I walk here.
So these songbird baskets have different nests of babies, and when she lifts that thing, you can peek in there and see how they're all doing. So when they don't need supplemental heat anymore, or if they're just on heating pads, they move here, and their timer generally changes so that they're every 45 minutes instead of every 30. So the idea is that they get more hungry, and so they'll start actually investigating the food that's in their cage in between feeds. So we want them to self-feed. You can just keep going. I'll talk over you as you keep working. So we do band each of the birds so that we can identify who's who. Each patient has their individual patient number.
Oh my gosh, look at all these guys.
Yeah. This is the year of the house finch. I don't think we've ever had this many finches in 1 year, so I don't know what has happened out there, but this is pretty amazing, the amount of finches that we have. So
they're hungry.
Most of them are related. If you've ever had the joy of having a finch nest near your house, there's usually 4 to 6 babies in each. And so if a nest comes down and we can't replace the nest, then they all come in together. But then we also are very careful to not raise any individuals alone. We always raise them with conspecifics so that they don't imprint on humans. We want them to know that they are a wild animal and what species they are.
What is this guy? Is that another finch?
This is another house finch. He is currently separate from the others because we are hoping to do a reunite later today. He was a very well-intentioned rescue. It seems like a kidnap because the parents are there and he was on the ground. So basically, birds leave the nest before they can fly, and they spend a few days hopping around on bushes and stuff. If the parents are there, then you want to leave them if it's a safe place and let parents keep feeding them while they learn how to fly. Now this beautiful little bird is our black phoebe, and he is an insectivore, and so he's learning to eat mealworms instead of the mash diet that we use. And it takes a little practice. These little guys are fantastic. A lot of phoebes you'll see on power poles calling, and see that little bobbing tail that he's doing? That's a very classic phoebe move. They sit on the power line and tail bobs while they make that call. Can you actually hear him calling?
I don't know if you can or not. It's so noisy in here. It's so funny. Look at him. He's wonderful.
So this guy was a case, sadly. We know exactly where the nest is and the parents, but it's in a backyard of a person with 3 dogs.
Oh.
And they are refusing to keep the dogs inside. So we can't put them back, unfortunately. So there is a sibling in the nest, and we're talking to them about
that's too bad.
whether or not
keeping the dogs in.
Yeah.
Ben asked, how do you tell the different species apart?
Oh, that takes years of experience, and I've been doing this for 20 years, and we still get in birds where I have to call other centers and local experts and send pictures and say, what is this? Especially when they're as small as the house sparrow.
Yeah, that little house sparrow. You never know. You sometimes can't even tell what species they are.
So over here in this cage we have one is self-feeding, but then the other guy is a dark-eyed junco. The juncos, they do a specific dance. California towhees do the same thing, where the parents and the babies bob up and down to each other before they feed. So Haley's gonna, Lily. I keep calling you your sister's name. I'm sorry. Both Haley and Lily work for us this summer, and I keep calling them the wrong name.
I see him. I wonder if we could get him over there. Probably not. No, that's okay. There we go.
There, I can lift this for you. And so she's gonna kind of move that up and down, and you'll see him do his little head bob.
Or not.
Or not.
He's getting to the point of not wanting to be hand-fed anymore,
There
right?
he goes. Yep. And it's really hard to get it in there at the right moment. So it's hard for the birds to learn how to eat, and it's hard for the humans to learn how to feed something that tiny. So you'll notice our patient numbers. It's very crowded in here. This is baby season for us. Please, we ask everybody to not trim your trees. A lot of birds have already fledged, so a lot of species will be working on their second round of babies right now, so it's still important to not trim your trees yet, and make sure you keep those guys safe, keep your cats indoors, and postpone any tree work that you can. And if you find any fledglings on the ground, always give us or your local wildlife hospital a call first before you bring them in, because it may be they're just learning to fly. And it is an old wives' tale that if you touch a wild animal, mom and dad will not take it back. That is not true. As long as the baby is warm and healthy, they will definitely take them back.
Yep.
And we miss our volunteers greatly. All of this work with all of the birds you see listed on our timers. We normally have 3 staff members in here, as well as about 5 to 10 volunteers every shift, 9 to 1 and 1 to 5, and then 5 to 9. And because of COVID, we have not had volunteers because, as you see, our place is really small and cramped, and social distancing is difficult. So it's been one heck of a 3 months or so with everybody doing their best to get everybody fed. So we really appreciate your support, and we miss our volunteers.
We sure do. Oh my gosh, just so very, very much. Well, Melanie and Lily, thank you so much. All of the birds.
Lily.
Thank you. I'm like, wait, it is Lily. Yes.
Yes, I know.
So grateful to have everybody here watching. We're going to be back on Friday for an interesting show on how animals sleep.
Oh, cool.
With Marla, the pond turtle, as one of our stars. So thank you, ladies,
All right,
so much.
I'm going to go help her start feed everybody else.
Do it. Thanks, everybody. Stay healthy, stay well.
Thank
Bye.
you.